Louise. Welcome to our channel. My boys and I form a family of 3, and we always had a dream of sailing all over the place on a sailboat. I started my dream when I was 2 years old. My godparents had sailed around the Bahamas, and I saw their photos and heard some of their stories, and I just knew it was the life for me. So when the boys were itty bitty, I found a sailing channel family. They have 4 kids, and they just completed their circumnavigation last year. And they were a huge inspiration to us. We found them when they just filmed episode 3, I think. So we saw their channel very early on, and the boys were just like, wow, look at that, that's a big boat. They were little guys though. So we lived in Port Townsend, Washington when the boys were little bitty. And we only lived a couple miles away from the wooden boat and shipyard. So I would load the boys up into the stroller and push them along the sea on a little trail all the way out to the boatyard, where we'd get a Blue Moose burrito and a tea and go walking around and look at the boats. We did this almost every day. This was just, for years, the early life for the boys was us exploring around. We also homesteaded out on the Olympic Peninsula, so we have that background. And I grew up in Alaska. Quinn's from New Mexico, and Zephyr's from Oregon. In 2020, we did wind up getting a boat named Easterly, and we sailed her all over the Gulf side of Florida.
That's not a bowling.
Are you trying to tell I'm bowling?
Yeah, that's
He's working on a bowling. And after a bit of doing that, it was 2022, and all the bridge masters and lock operators and every marina we went to, people kept asking me, so Captain, when are you going to get your captain's license? So I went to captain school, and I proved that I really do know what I'm doing. And then in 2022, we found out what hurricanes are. We hadn't experienced one before. And, well, life restarted again for us. And the bank didn't want to finance a new boat. I properly secured our boat, and I chose
also not a
to
bowling.
evacuate the boys. No, that's a fishing knot. It was to evacuate all of us off the boat or move the boat by the time I realized how bad Hurricane Ian was going to be. And at the end of Hurricane Ian, 36 hours later, a palm tree had fallen on my pickup truck, and then it was later totaled later that week by a woman running a red light. And my boat was smashed to bits by other boats that broke loose from their anchors and moorings. So we pushed the restart button all over again. And I went to the bank and I was like, hey, I need a new boat. And they were like, no. So I said, well, how about a work truck? And they agreed to finance Clifford, the big red ambulance RV. That has been our work truck and RV for a couple years now.
That's also.
And for a little while, we traveled around looking for a boat in 2022 and early 2023. And all of my older friends told me, you know, you really should go see your dad before you get back on another boat. So we traveled across the country and through more than half of the states and went and visited my dad. And that adventure turned into a long adventure. But we made it back and regrouped, loaded up Clifford, and yeah. If you ever wanted to look for a sailboat, but you have a set budget in mind, or maybe you're looking for a free one. So my first boat, I found it. I had a list of like 10 boats. And the deal I got was they agreed to trade for my minivan, long story short, and I got our first boat that way. This that I put together and all the itemization on it. The year, make, and model and length of each boat, its name, the price, where I found it, the good and the bad, and all the details that I might need to compare different boats to each other and to remember what all boats I'm looking at. I look at a few main places for boats. Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, there's a freeboat.com or .org, don't quote me on that, I'll put it on the page. Bunch of different boat listing pages on Facebook. And then there's like the various yacht pages. This is Clifford, our fully loaded AmboRV. And when we hit the road in him, we knew exactly what we were looking for. A sailboat that could carry our dreams further than ever before. But I can't help but flash back to 5 years ago when we made this journey for the first time. Just me, the boys, and a minivan, and our friend. The minivan vibrated so hard it felt like I was driving a piece of military artillery. The wheels rattled and the windows squeaked. But somehow it carried us all the way from Texas to Florida. We didn't have much, but we had heart and we had each other. The trip spanned over 1,500 miles, and honestly, we lost count of how many boats we looked at. Roughly 20 we viewed in person, and countless more we sorted through online. But we made it an adventure. We camped, we kayaked, we spotted baby gators and went fishing. We even went searching for the escaped monkeys of Florida. And yes, we found one. He's up there, guys.
Somewhere.
We found the monkey.
Hi.
Okay.
River, and we finally found one. It was outside of the river. It was at this parking lot.
Not every boat made the cut. An honorable mention goes to the beautiful vessel Sipapoo. She had the right bones and the right feel and the right soul, but her paperwork was a mess. Caught in limbo, unclear ownership, tangled up documents, and way too many unanswered questions. It could have worked, maybe, but at best it would have been difficult, and at worst it would have been a heartbreaking disaster. We stopped to visit with one of our dear friends. And
turn him into a candle.
Why?
Because I want to.
It's a jumping needle. Holy shit. Watch JJ, don't let him get hurt.
Don't step on it.
Keep your kitty brother from getting hurt.
You got it.
Is that your buddy?
Yes.
I just feel like the crab's trying to wave at me.
Grab the
Like,
other
hey
arm.
Mom, how you
Grab the
doing?
other arm. Grab the other pincher.
You got him by the pinchers. He's got those pokies on the side he can get you with too.
Got him.
Oh, let me see how colorful he is.
He's
Wow, he's pretty.
not big enough yet. I was going to put some more.
He's too little. You guys need to put him back in now.
Okay, since I'm the one that pulled
He
up
can't
here,
really
I feel
breathe very well out
awesome.
here.
Bye-bye, buddy.
But all fun things come in cycles, and it was time again that we pack up the AmboRV and keep on rolling. Big thanks to Quinn for all your heavy lifting. Onward we go, chasing what we know is meant for us. So grateful for all we've been blessed with. Every moment, every lesson, every wild detour along the way. So wood stork.
Something like that. White egret, white egret.
I want to take a moment to honor our first sailboat. She was a 1969 Holland contest named Easterly. May she rest in peace. She carried us through our first adventures, through storms and sunshine, along islands that had nobody on them but us.
There they are!
There's someone that
Good morning! So boys, how do you feel about boat shopping?
It takes a long time. But we finally got one.
I just about fell off.
Are you glad we got one?
Yes.
Was it worth the wait?
No. I'm joking.
Yes, it was.
And we came full circle. We returned back to the passport office in Miami. And just as the woman behind the glass called our name, I got a message. There she was. Shambala. It felt different this time. Everywhere we looked on this boat, we kept finding everything right instead of everything wrong. Her name is Shambala. A 1982 custom-built junk-rigged ketch with a heart you can feel. She was loved by a woman named Anne, and still is, who sailed her with care and devotion for many years. When Anne's vision began to fade, she passed Shambala on to Chris. And when life pulled Chris in another direction, he passed her on to me. And just like that, we sold off and donated all the things we no longer needed, the things that were no longer serving us. We met Chris and his sweet puppy Ellie and lowered our belongings out of the Ambo, carried them down to the beach, loaded them up in a dinghy, said goodbye to Clifford, the big red ambulance. Just like that, we were home. JJ has given his approval. We had our first visitor, our own mushroom coffee, sometimes in the cockpit, sometimes in the very nice galley. And we've already begun making memories. The boys found a sea urchin. No, we are not going to eat him. Yes, he's cool. And yes, he's going back. Always learning, always exploring. Next up, porthole surgery. That's right, folks. 4 cracked aft cabin port windows. So many screws. An unintentional core workout included. But cracked portholes are no joke. Hello, Jackie. There's a hole in our boat. There's a hole in our boat, Jackie. I made a hole in the boat. But Jackie, there's a hole in our boat. Hello, Jackie. Hello. The boys were a huge help with the portholes, sanding, holding tools, handing me screws, being right there beside me, learning and doing. I mean it. I am so grateful that this isn't just a dream anymore. This is our life. It's a dream come true. And I manifested it. We manifested it. We made it our reality. And honestly, we're just getting started. This is home now, and this is just the beginning. Next week, we'll take Shambala out for her first sail with us aboard. You'll get to meet Anne, the woman who loved her first, and we'll share even more of what makes this boat so special. Thank you to our friends and family who believed in us when all we had was a vision and the guts to go chase it. If you want to follow along, check out our website, sirenandsons.com. Subscribe on YouTube, find us on our other socials, and join our Patreon if you want to help us keep sharing the journey. We'll see you next week, and until then, we hope you find your own way to make every day a best day ever.
Yeah. Whoa.